Alright, hey there guys, this is Wes with the Air West Tarot. Hopefully you like the new setup that I am doing a little bit better than the bed. So we're going to be doing a 12-sign read today, and it's going to be covering, per suggestion, 4 cards. And we're going to be doing, for obviously all 12, I'm going to shuffle using these, what is it? It's this Arcana of Astrology. It comes with all the zodiac signs. So we've got Taurus, Virgo, Sagittarius, etc. I'm going to shuffle it up, and that's the order we're going to go into. So we'll put timestamps at the bottom of the video link when the video is done. And so the format for this video is we're going to be looking at what problem you're facing, how you're responding to that problem, advice, and your likely outcome. I've already pre-shuffled the deck, so let's get started. I don't know what it is about the energy today, but I have shuffled like 4 decks, and they will not shuffle. So I'm just leaving them as is. There's probably a rhyme and reason for that. So let's sift the zodiac cards will shuffle, and they do. Starting off, we have Leo. So I've got a spectator with me today. Alright, Leo, Spirit, what's going on for Leo? What problem is Leo currently facing? What problem is Leo currently facing? And how are they responding to this problem, Spirit? What advice can you offer, and what is the likely outcome? I have 3 cards that automatically came out, so we're going to take it. Alright, Leo, for your current problem... Oh, we had 1 sneaker card in there. We'll keep it. It was kind of hidden in there. It looked like 3 cards, but it wasn't. Alright, so Leo. Let's see what kind of energies we've got here. We've got Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. We've got Pisces energy coming through. We've got Taurus energy again. We've got Capricorn energy coming through. And we have Aquarius energy. So, Leo, for the problem position right now, 10 of Pentacles. So something structurally in your life is the problem. It's the issues in question. How are you responding to this problem? 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups can talk about marriage commitment. Your problem right now is likely that you're seeking some type of long-term commitment. I would say that you're probably looking for marriage, and you're desperately, 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups is quite amazing to get side by side with each other, because they're kind of like peas in a pod with each other. So clearly commitment for long-term and a marriage of some sort is what's on your mind. How you're responding to this, you're trying to make it work. You're bringing all 10 cups with you, so you're trying to pour out your heart to someone in hopes that this problem will be alleviated and you'll have a long-term commitment marriage. Okay, advice in this situation is 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 6 of Pentacles in reverse is kind of encouraging you to be cautious about overly extending yourself. I get with this, when it's in the upright, it generally means that you're kind of being charitable to a lot of other people, or people are coming to you, maybe it's for handouts, or you just got so much money that you're just giving it away, but you're trying to be generous because you can, you've worked hard and you have the money. When it's in reverse, it kind of means that you're, it could go, I'm getting 2 stories. So one is to be cautious about overextending your hand to others, because it may start to drain your resources to the point where it could jeopardize this future that you're so desperately seeking. And the other possibility is that you are not being generous enough, because when it's reversed can also talk about the fact that you are unfortunately probably giving a little bit too much to yourself, and that can make you look a bit self-centered. So that's not going to apply for everyone, so you really have to kind of really be honest and with yourself, and just kind of say, have I been giving a lot, to the right kinds of people? Am I giving it to the wrong kinds of people? Is this person that's getting my generosity, are they deserving of it? You really need to ask these questions. Your outcome is the 2 of Pentacles. For me, I like it, because 2 of Pentacles speaks of learning to kind of balance Two, like, major situations. It could be more than two things. A lot of people just think it's two situations. It's not. It could be more than that. But it's talking about having that approach where many people, when we're growing up, you start to get more and more responsibilities dumped on you. And as people, obviously, we just don't have that life experience. We tend to fumble the football a lot. And we start to learn through time how to manage multiple things, more than one thing. We don't have our parents doing it for us anymore. When it's reversed, it can generally be that just chaos. Everything is falling apart around you. You just can't manage doing it. But when it's upright, showing that you're doing a pretty good job managing it. You've even got a rainbow there, so it's showing there is hope. Maybe a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. 10 of Cups. I like it. 10 of Cups. That's abundance. That's everything. That's money, baby. Now, we do have one card that did sneak out. And I say sneak out because it's a 7 of Swords, but it was reversed. So, I think what I'm going to do for this is just get one clarification on why that card snuck on in. Okay, so we have Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So, Leos, what this is strongly encouraging here is that you are on the right track. You have 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Now, obviously, 10 of Pentacles was your problem. Understandable. But 10 of Cups, you are doing the right thing. You're giving the max of yourself. You're pouring your heart into something. And you are kind of learning to kind of balance things and be more just in tune with what's going on around you. But it is strongly cautioning you to avoid a past cycle. The Wheel of Fortune is in reversed here, so that's never a good thing. It generally means that things may not go in your favor. And 7 of Swords can be a card still of espionage, stalking. It could be, in my books, the way I read it is that it can be a worsening of the upright position. It can also be a card of evasion. It can be self-deception. Or it could just kind of just be reevaluating your choices. You know, like maybe you got injured in battle. You know, doing something that was kind of shady and you shouldn't have been doing it. But either or, it's showing Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So it does caution you here to not repeat past cycles that failed or cause a lot of problems, sabotage, destruction. So this probably may jeopardize this future and make it a lot more difficult. Allowing something that you know no longer serves you to come back in your life may turn this upside down, may start fumbling the football. So I'll probably just say that's just the freebie that you got in your read. We're still going to be sticking just to 4 cards, but yeah, that's all I got for you. Alright, next one. Who we got next? Let's find out. Just doing quick shuffles here. Cancer. Cancer is up. Alright, Spirit, what do we got for Cancers? What is their current problem that they're facing right now? What is their most abundant problem for Cancers that they're facing right now? How are they responding to this problem? What advice and likely outcome do you have for our Cancers regarding this problem or issue that they're facing? This is for Cancers. What current problem is most prominent in Cancer's life right now? How they're responding to this problem? What advice and outcome do we have for our Cancer Spirit? I don't know what it is. Normally I actually can show up a lot better, but tonight I'm just having a lot of difficulty doing it. So let's go with it. We got a card sticking out. We're going to take it. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what we got? Alright, Cancers. So we got Capricorn energy, we have Aries, and we have Gemini energy. Alright, so starting in your palm position, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So, Cancer, one of the problems you may be facing right now is learning teamwork. The 3 of Pentacles really talks about oftentimes it'll show a younger guy that's working, building a pentacle. He already has 2 on his belt, but he's building a 3rd. It can also show him kind of in some type of monastery or cathedral kind of setting. And what the Three of Pentacles is really showing is that this is a person that is a skilled part of the team. They have a lot to offer. Even though he's young, he doesn't know everything, he's still a valuable part of the team. And in the original tarot, there's two elderly gentlemen that are obviously very wise and know what they're doing, but they're considering this gentleman and they know that he's a valuable part of their team. So despite him not knowing everything, they know at heart that his input and his feedback and his work is valuable. So this problem, I don't really get that it's so much, I don't feel so much that this is a teamwork issue right now. It could be for some, but my intuition right now is telling me that what this is about is recognizing your potential part in a connection in a team and how you're showing up. So you want to imagine yourself that if you are that guy that's building that pentacle, right? You know, what would those two men be, or two women, whichever you want, man or woman, if they were discussing you, how would they talk about you? Are you a valuable part of the team? Are you contributing? Are you giving the best effort that you can? I think this is really kind of saying that's an issue that may be in question right now, that maybe you're not giving 110%, or you could be improving in some areas, or you just don't feel like you're giving enough or doing the right things. Now, how are you responding to this problem? It shows the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles can be sometimes a bit of holding on, gripping to things, kind of thinking about yourself. It can be a bit of a selfish energy. The Four of Pentacles does show a gentleman that's kind of like holding on. He's holding on to everything. It's not necessarily always a bad card. It can just be kind of like you don't want to lose what you have. So there can be like a fear around that. And there may be some concern that you've come from this energy where you feel like you have to hold on to everything all the time, and so working in a team can be difficult because you're like, I don't know if I can trust this person, and I don't want to give everything because maybe they take something from me. So your advice to this situation is to not be stuck. It's Two of Wands in reverse. Upright, this is a path of two different paths, you know, but it's reversed. It could indicate you're finally making a decision, but it can also in some cases mean that it's escalating and it's getting worse, where you're just paralyzed and you don't know which path to take. Okay? The likely outcome here, though, is the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this does talk about coming out of some type of mind illusion or trap that you've created upon yourself, and you're coming out of that. And so I do feel that with the Two of Wands in reverse, the advice is that you are finally choosing to make a decision. And this may, the idea of working as a team or looking at what you're contributing or feeling like you're a valuable part of the team, I think that you're kind of making your mind up and saying that, you know what? Yeah, I do have something to offer. Yeah, I do have more to give. So I don't think it's a bad reading. I think that you're just coming out of a period where you might have been stuck in your head for a very long period of time, having a difficult time trying to make the right decisions or see maybe yourself worth in something. But I think that that's going to be changing for you, Cancers. Wonderful. All right, moving on. Oh, now we're getting some better stuff. Well, that was. So who's up next? Let's see what we got. Again, I'm sorry guys, if there's any production issues or problems with that, the video, I'm going to work on it. It's just, it's a little on you for me, so I'm working on it slowly. Alright, we have Sagittarius is next. Oh, we're getting like all the fire signs, all their energy is kind of pulling ahead. We got some water there, but fire energy is really kind of rocking it tonight. The only one that hasn't shown up and normally goes first all the time is Aries. So maybe I'll go last today. I don't know. I don't have anything against Aries. I always just kind of make that joke. Alright, what's going on for our Sagittarius? What problem is Sagittarius currently facing? How is Sagittarius responding to this problem currently? What advice and the outcome for Sagittarius? I can't. I don't know what it is about the shuffling. I've never had this much difficulty shuffling. I really haven't. So that... maybe this is a sign of things meshing together. I don't know. Who knows what that means? We'll find out at some point, I'm sure. And for those of you who don't know, I should have said at the beginning of the video, we'll be having a new moon in Scorpio And then on the 4th, yeah. So, prepared for some emotions to fly. So things might get a little turbulent with that sun gone missing. I'm done shuffling. I'm just so sick of it. It's just not happening tonight. I might be for a reason, so we'll see. Sagittarius. What problem is Sagittarius facing right now? How they respond to this problem, advice, and outcome for Sagittarius. So right off the bat, we've got, let's see here. We got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo energy showing up. So for the problem right now, Sagittarius is 5 of Cups. So 5 of Cups is generally, it does show kind of a, you see this guy right here? He looks like he's pretty depressed. It's a card of the blues. It can be depressed. You may not be showing it. You notice that there's no one around in the picture. It's just basically this dude that's sitting on the ground. He feels like, poor me, life kind of sucks. You'll notice that 3 of the cups are spilt, but there's still 2 that are sitting upright. This card really talks about that oftentimes that there's something that is dominating your mind that's obviously taking you away from the present moment, and you're oftentimes not seeing the blessings or the opportunities that are around you. In my books, the 5 of Cups is sometimes a necessary grieving energy. Everyone kind of has to just, we have all how it is, or something that was meaningful to us may not be going the way we wanted, or we lost something, or something failed, or it doesn't matter how many times you've tried, and it brought you to your knees, quite literally, case in point, and you just want to cry about it, get the bandages out, I guess, for some people. But it does say that, unfortunately, when we do get in our emotions, we do cloud our minds sometimes, and we do fail to see that, hey, not all is lost. There are still 2 cups upright. If you take those 2 cups, you'll be able to recover from this and go and invest them in an area that can grow into something beautiful. But the case is, do you want to? Are you still wanting to just sit and say, these 3 cups are spilled? It's spilled milk. It's going to pass. So for some of you right now, may be dealing with some situation that's affecting you like that. How you're responding to it is the 6 of Pentacles, again, in reverse. So you maybe just kind of be keeping this to yourself is what I'm getting from that. You may not be wanting to share much about how you're feeling about that, Sagittarius. Now, your advice here is the 6 of Swords. So this really does speak about getting in your ship and sailing to greener pastures. The woman, basically, she's got 6 swords there, so she's kind of got some battle scars there, but she's still standing. And she's doing it under the cover of darkness. So this may be kind of talk about that you may not be making your intentions known about what you're really wanting to do, but you are seeking to go find something better. Whatever the situation that brought you to your knees, you're tired of it. You may not be sharing it to the world right now and being a little private about it, but your outcome is the 6 of Wands. So this is fantastic. That's victory after the battle. And you're kind of looking at it as a victory. So it does seem for you, Sagittarius, that's pretty good, that you will be kind of triumphing and coming out of some type of hurt that really has been holding you back. And I would say that probably for a long time is what I'm getting. But you will be coming out of it and moving past it onto better and bigger things. Great reading, Sagittarius. I really like it, despite the depression card there. But overall, pretty good. Alright, who's up next? Let's find out. Still can't show. It must be a theme tonight. Maybe I'll pull some cards and see why that is. It must be something. That's Spirit just trying to point out. Shit. Now you focus on this here. I'm never. Aries. There it is. A little late to the party. So we have all the fire energy that pretty much came up first. Wow. Need to say more. Aries. What problem is Aries currently facing, Spirit? How is Aries responding to this problem? What advice do you have for Aries? And what is the likely outcome for Aries? Spirit, can I get messages for Aries and what problem they are currently facing? How is Aries responding to this problem? What is the advice? And what is the likely outcome? Aries. So Aries, we get the Four of Pentacles came up in the upright position for your Capricorn energy. We have Two of Cups that came up in the upright energy. How you're responding to this. Aquarius energy, you have the Star card, fantastic. And then you have the Magician for your outcome. Great. So Aries, right now, your problem may be that you are too closed off. You may be a little bit too much. I'm getting into your own world at this time. For some of you, maybe focused a little too heavily on your finances, or just kind of being to yourself, kind of waiting around for others to do things, is what I'm getting from this. This does point out in how you respond to this, the Two of Cups. So this is kind of talking that you may be a little bit self-centered or selfish in a relationship that you're currently in. Perhaps you're kind of wanting this person to do a lot more of the work for whatever your reason may be. It may not be the case. Maybe, obviously flip the roles if that applies, but be honest with yourself if you choose to do that. But what I am getting, and I really do feel this is you, Aries, unfortunately, but I don't feel this is the person you're dealing with. Again, kind of reiterating, this may be some type of connection. I don't think this is really necessarily a job. I think this is a relationship that you're dealing with, someone that you've met where you've kind of exchanged cups and you really kind of want things to move forward, but you may have this maybe from something that was a past breakup, failure, or something that didn't work out in very well for you, and you've been kind of more independent into yourself. That energy may kind of be conflicting in whoever you're dealing with and may jeopardize things. Your advice is the Star card. So the Star card. So this is Aquarius energy. So I would be, you have to say to yourself with the Four of Pentacles, why would someone want to do that? And it may be that they don't anticipate their relationship to last very long. When someone is, not giving to the situation, or they feel like, hey, what's the point in giving to this person? They're just going to screw me over. So you're kind of really setting it up to fail. And I would say with the advice being the Star card, it's probably suggesting that you really need to have stick with, if marriage and a long-term commitment is something at heart what you want, but you've been kind of pushing it down, you really need to be more optimistic about that instead of just saying, well, it's going to fail, so why bother? That's not going to facilitate a relationship that's going to stand the test of time. It's just going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I really do think that what you want is wish fulfillment. It's around the corner and it's there and it's possible, but you really need to be more optimistic about it. And to keep this connection, whoever you're dealing with, for those of you who have just met someone that seems like they're quite good, or if this is an existing relationship with someone, it's only Two of Cups, so it's probably a new person, if anything. We do have the Magician in your outcome, so you have everything you need. You're set. Whatever vision or plan that you want, whatever you want to accomplish in regards to this connection, it seems like it's saying the universe is giving you the green light that you can go ahead and make it happen. You have everything you need to do that and be successful with it. But it does kind of urge that your outlook on things is probably going to massively influence the situation. But overall, pretty good reading. All right, moving on. Who we got next? Taurus. Taurus, you are up. What problem do we have for Taurus? What problem is Taurus facing right now? How is Taurus responding to this problem? What is the advice from you, Spirit, regarding this problem? And the likely outcome. What problem is Taurus facing currently, Spirit? How are they responding to this problem? What is the advice and the likely outcome, Spirit, for Taurus? All right, Taurus. So your current problem right now is the Two of Swords. This talks about someone that kind of still has the blindfold on. You're kind of making a difficult decision. You have things that are on your mind. This can be, when I say things on your mind, everybody obviously has things that are on their mind, but this is probably more than one situation that is requiring a lot of your attention. And you may not know all the details in this situation, which is why the blindfold is over her. She doesn't really see everything, and she has to kind of make an educated decision. You know, what about this one? What about this situation? Well, what about that? And then what ends up happening is a lot of things can start to cloud your mind and come and feel, there's a lot to work out. There's a lot of unknown factors. And many times in life, wouldn't we all just want to just know how something's going to end? But unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. So this is what makes this card so swordsy, in my opinion, is that it really kind of involves a lot of like analytical thinking to really kind of weigh out the options, and it kind of removes a lot of the emotion. So you're more at this time probably seeing something that could really impact your life in some way, and so you are kind of removing the emotion probably part out of it and more looking at it from an analytical perspective to see, is this going to benefit me long term on this side or that side? How are you approaching this problem is the Lovers in reverse. So unfortunately, the Lovers in reverse is not a good card to get. It does talk about connections that are imbalanced, a situation which just doesn't work. It can be unrequited love situations. It can be a situation that was just repeating past problems over and over and over. Someone that just is unwilling to change. Commitment problems that just going south. The list is honestly endless with this one. The Lovers in reverse is generally, it can be using love almost as warfare in some cases, which is a very toxic trait. But it can be trying to it can be talk about obsession as well. But it can be using things against another person in the name of love. And I got that from tarot lessons, actually, I just recently learned about. So, kind of funny that came out. We then have the, for your advice, is the Justice card, which is Libra energy. Your Justice card is really, and I'm really thinking about this, is that it's urging you to, and cautioning you to really weigh out and say what, to take an equal and balanced approach to the situation and not do anything too radical. Given that the Lovers in reverse can't talk about some pretty extreme actions, and then we have the Justice right next to it, clearly she has two scales. So it's talking that, the advice here is to be very careful about your approach, because something can become very lopsided very quickly, especially when you have two sides of the scale there, and you have two swords, two decisions right here. Okay, so choose wisely. Choosing to put, obviously, more time and effort into one side of the scale is going to tip it, right? If you're going to try and balance out two different situations, does one have to go, or is both staying? You really have to kind of ask yourself this, because at the end of the day, overcommitment can cause things to kind of be a lot lopsided. It can kind of cause your focus to kind of get, overly spent on something that's not really working, and then this can very quickly become reversed, where it's not balanced anymore. However, your outcome does show Knight of Pentacles, so I do think that combined with the Justice and the Knight of Pentacles, you may be leaning toward whatever decision you do choose. It does seem that you're probably going to release whatever this toxic problem or issue that you're facing. But it is going to depend on the Justice being upright. I think if you can balance it, what it's suggesting here is that stability will be achieved. You'll be proactive about it, and you will be successful in that. Something that, and it's going towards a situation that, you know, really can provide a lot more honesty, integrity, better communication, something that's more stable, which is something that it seems like you've probably tried many times with this whoever this lover was, but the Two of Swords does still show that it's upright. So it's still saying that the decision hasn't been made. So Spirit is urging you in some sense to really kind of think about the situation before making a decision, because it can probably affect your stability based on it, is what I'm getting for that. Alright, Taurus, that's all I got for you. I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to finish this up. Alright, I'm back. Sorry guys, I had to take a quick break. Thank God it's not live, so we can just cut that portion out. Alright, so we just finished up with Taurus. Who do we got next coming up? Scorpio. And just want to mention again, for those who are Scorpio, we're having a new moon in Scorpio. New moon. November 4th. So, new moon can signify that the sun is out of the picture, and we're going to be looking at the shadow side a little bit. It'll illuminate a lot of what's going on beneath. So, I'm anticipating there'll be a lot of emotional exchanges coming out, feelings being revealed. That's Scorpio energy. So, let's see where it takes us. Spirit, what problem is currently Scorpio facing right now? How is Scorpio reacting to this problem? What advice do you have for Scorpio? And what is the likely outcome for Scorpios? Spirit, what is the current problem for our Scorpios currently? How are they reacting to this issue or problem? What advice do you have? What is the likely outcome? There we go. Alright, Scorpios. So, for your reading, kind of got an even split. We've got some Cancer energy here. We've got air, water, and fire. A little bit more leaning on the water side. For your problem, we have the Eight of Cups, and it's showing up in the reversed position. So, Scorpio. Eight of Cups generally talks a bit about when it's upright. Most times walking away from something that really is just unfulfilling to you. It's not providing the emotional stimulation that you probably wanted at one point in time, and choosing to walk away from it, searching for something that's better. In this card, if you notice, there are some cups that are spilt, and there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's still 5 cups that are upright. So what that implies is that you might have had some bumps and bruises and whatnot, and things didn't work out, but there's still 5 cups that are upright. Meaning that, hey, you know what, I'm going to take my 5 cups and go and find something, I'm going to grieve, get over this, and try and start over, find something new. However, it is in a reverse position. So when the Eight of Cups is in reverse, this can oftentimes talk about that you may be kind of more paralyzed, not willing to move past something that is really just not a very good situation to be in. There's something that's really just not emotionally bringing you the joy or satisfaction or desires that you've been wanting in your life. It's just emotionally unfulfilling. There's nothing more. But you aren't really making the decision to move forward from it. So that is showing up as your problem. How are you responding to this is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So Knight of Swords, when it's upright, is a lightning fast energy. It comes into problems or goes towards something almost recklessly. Is how fast. It's the fastest knight in the deck, but it is reversed. So this may be one of two things. One, that you are, given that the Eight of Cups is reversed, just choosing not to make a decision, and you're just not putting any energy to really make any changes. The other thing is that you may be being a bit reckless with your decisions, because perhaps this situation with the Eight of Cups being reversed, whatever this is that you're dealing with is frustrating you. It might be, given that it may not be fulfilling to you, it's probably leading to some type of anxiety, depressions, or fears, or just arguments or anger or frustrations. And Scorpios do have the Scorpion reason. It's got a pretty nasty stinger at the end of it. So when a Scorpio is not doing too well, they may bite or sting, for that matter. And the Knight of Swords, when it's reversed, can talk about aggression, especially. So this may be some type of situation where there's a bit of hostility, or you're just not seeing things grow, or stagnating, and it is maybe causing some emotional upsets, some fighting, some arguments may be experienced at this time. Your advice is the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands talks about it is fire energy, of course. So this embodies, though the Queen does body emotion, water energy, with this fire energy being the Queen. And so it's talking about taking a structured approach. The Queen is someone that's well liked. Everyone looks up to her. They want to be her. She's her best. So I think this is really talking about, you need to kind of evaluate, maybe put some self-love back into yourself and kind of realize your worth, is what I'm getting from this, and that you have a lot to offer, and you're someone that might be very much desired. You just may not be seeing it, and you're putting your time and energy into a situation that's just not fulfilling you, when you really could be getting a lot better, is what I'm getting from the Queen of Wands. And if you take action to kind of realize your potential, you can really make a lot of things happen. Outcome is the Chariot in reverse. So this is kind of, in my books, the parked card. So you're choosing, whatever this situation is that's keeping you stuck, you may just be choosing to kind of just dwell on it for right now. And given that you have one for your outcome, a card that really represents that you're just taking no action, you're just kind of just staying put. Playing it safe is also another part of the Chariot being reversed. And your advice is the Queen of Wands, which is a high action card, talking about making moves, kind of seeing your worth, being bold, going out there, being flirty, trying something new. This probably suggests that you haven't really been, whatever the situation is that's may have been paralyzing you and keeping you a bit stuck. But the universe is suggesting that you really need to kind of evaluate the situation and say to yourself, what is it bringing you? What are you getting out of it? Are you satisfied with the situation? Have you even asked yourself this question? Or are you in denial about it? I don't know. It's something that really kind of begs to ask for you to really tell yourself, am I being honest with myself? Have I been stuck in this situation for way too long? And some people unfortunately get stuck in a situation for so long where they just flat out fail to see that the years have passed on by, other people have moved on, and they're still stuck doing the same thing over and over and over, and it just becomes a way of life. Don't allow yourself to fall in that situation. Sometimes we all just need a wake-up call to really kind of just simply look at a situation for what it is, and look in the mirror and say, people are telling me I can do better. People are telling me I look good. People seem to always be asking to want to do stuff with me and stuff, and saying, maybe I can do better. And trying to just change the script on things and see if you can work past this Chariot in reverse. Look and see what other opportunities around you, and you may be able to turn this from a reverse to an upright position and move towards, put your energy into something that be a lot more fulfilling for you. So that's what I'm getting for you, Scorpio. So definitely a situation that is calling you to evaluate your circumstances and take action. Don't allow yourself to be paralyzed by fears. Alright. Up next we have Aquarius. Alright, what do we got for our Aquas? Let's take a quick drink. Spirit, what do we have for our Aquarius? What problem is Aquarius? The zodiac sign of Aquarius, what are they facing right now? What problem or issue are they facing right now? How are they responding to this problem or issue? What advice do you have, and what is the outcome for Aquarius? Let's get another shuffle. We're just doing flat shuffles today because I'm just not, I don't know what decks are just probably the Scorpio energy that's coming in, causing some upheaval. The deck doesn't want to cooperate. Scorpios generally don't, at least from my experience, like to be told what to do. Very passive aggressive when you have told them what to do. You'll know it. So you'll have a large stinger in the back. And it hurts. Alright. What do we got for Scorpios? Alright, Scorpio. So, looks like no real surprise. We have a lot of water energy on the board. You do have the Eight of Wands that's showing up in the reverse for your problem. So this can talk about. I'm sorry. If I said Scorpio, my bad. We're talking about Aquarius here. Aquarius, this is Eight of Wands. We're showing up for your problem that's in reverse. And this generally talks about some type of situation. It could be, most times the Eight of Wands is stemming from the Seven of Pentacles energy. It's talking about taking a plan of some sort, putting it into action, maybe not putting it to its full potential. When it's upright, you are taking that plan and full steam ahead. You are working on it, you're putting the time and energy into that. When it's reversed, it generally means things are at a halt for some reason. It doesn't mean to say that it's failed of any kind. It just means that maybe the necessary work to make it successful is just not being put in at that particular time. We do have the Moon in reverse for how you are responding to the situation. The Moon in reverse generally speaks about a little bit about self-deception. It can talk about secrets, illusions, deception. A lot of times it can be self-deception. It could be that you're deceiving someone else. Just kind of clouding things. Given that we're coming into the Scorpio energy and the new moon, and the sun will kind of be out of the picture temporarily, I think that whatever the case, the moon being reversed, will be illuminated. This doesn't necessarily mean to say that how you're responding to it is the moon in reverse. It could talk about that you are seeing. It doesn't mean to say that you are embodying this energy. It could also talk about that you are seeing whatever the problem is or issue. You might be concerned about the moon being in reverse, that there are those issues at play, whether that's true or not. In your advice position as the Five of Cups upright, this talks about, I kind of had this show up, I can't remember who got this. I want to say that it was Sagittarius. My spectators, it's Sagittarius, so we're going to take it. So Sagittarius, I apologize if I was wrong, but Five of Cups, briefly, kind of coming back to it, does kind of talk about just kind of the grieving, going through the motions, something that just flat out, it just didn't work. And again, it's failing to kind of see that there is still opportunities around you. The Cups are upright, but hey, when we are in that energy, right, we oftentimes get blinded to what's around us, and you know, it's, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, if we're depressed, we're probably not going to be in the best of spirits, or we're not going to be very happy, and we may fail to see that, hey, you know, things aren't really as bad as they seem, right? So there might be excessive dwelling on this moon reverse energy, whatever that is. It could be self-deception, given that the Five of Cups is there. Maybe kind of just telling that this didn't work out or that didn't work out because of what reasons that you've maybe fabricated or come up in your head that may not necessarily be true. But given that it's your advice position, it probably does suggest that you do need to kind of just work through the motions, breathe through things, get through it. So whatever this is a situation that's kind of halting your plans right now. Spirit is kind of saying that instead of just focusing on self-sabotaging behaviors or things that aren't working, maybe you just need to process and just let it go, right? So your outcome here is the Temperance in reverse. I kind of think that whatever is going on might be a real challenge for you. Temperance in reverse is kind of a card from the Divine showing there is some type of imbalance. Something is not mixing. It is a card of alchemy. So this may suggest that whatever this issue is going to take a little longer than maybe you're hoping or wanting it to go on for, and that there's things that you maybe not be seeing with the moon being reversed that need to be illuminated first for you in order for you to work past this, and things will still probably be a little bit turbulent and balanced. But I do think that if you follow the advice for the Five of Cups, there will be a resolution to this matter, and it'll kind of allow that Eight of Wands to be upright and move past this. Alright, who's up next? Just gonna shuffle on this one. I haven't shuffled in a little bit. Virgo. I'll be honest, Virgo is probably the least of all the zodiac signs that I'm most familiar with. I don't know too much about Virgos. I really need to kind of learn more about Virgos, but if you're a Virgo and you're watching this, shout out in the comments, that'd be great. Tell us what makes you a Virgo. It'd be kind of interesting to hear about. I have met a Virgo too, so radically different perspectives, I'll say. Again, doesn't hurt. Shout out in the comments if you're all watching this and you happen to be a Virgo, what makes you a Virgo? This shuffling, I have never had so much difficulty shuffling. Must be a message or a theme or something tonight. I kind of thought it was maybe something to do with temperance and balance, but I don't know. So I'm not mixing it right. Alright, Spirit, what do we have for Virgo? What problem is Virgo currently facing at this time? How are they responding to this problem? What is the advice and what is the outcome for Virgos? Spirit, what problem is Virgo currently facing? How are they responding to this problem? What advice can you offer Virgos, and what is the potential outcome, Spirit? Alright, Virgos. Virgos, so for your problem, you're getting the Five of Swords that's showing up in the reverse. That is Aquarius energy. And how you respond to this, you're getting the Seven of Cups upright, which is Scorpio energy. You've got Leo energy for your advice, Six of Wands, and the Chariot in reverse, which is Cancer energy. So we've got two water cards, we've got a wands, some action, and we've got some type of air energy coming in through here. So in your problem, the Five of Swords for your problem is probably suggesting that whatever this issue is, it's some type of struggle of either escalating in a situation that's causing a lot of issues or problems. It could also does talk about coming out of that problem. So whatever the issue is that this could be fighting or competition, or something that really kind of involves a lot of, it's not your average argument. This is something that's more than that. Generally speaking, that there's some pretty heavy competition to the point it's getting violent in some cases, or nasty. There's two people that clearly don't oftentimes like each other, or it's winning at all costs. And when it's reversed, it can talk about an escalation of this, but at the same time, it also does challenge you to come out of it, or that it is resolving and things are going to be better, the battle's over. So that is showing up in the problem position. How you respond to this is the Seven of Cups upright. This does talk about many things, but what I do get is that there's probably many illusions or situations or things that you may be thinking are factoring into the situation, which is causing you to be in the Five of Swords reverse energy. So if this is something that is escalating and you're finding that you are in a situation that is not improving, this may suggest to you that you are seeing too many possible things that may be factors that are going into the situation, and some of them may be true and some of them may be not. So this may suggest to you to be careful of who is whispering in your ear and providing you with information and what their agenda may be. The problem position being reversed and it's coming out of it, this may be that it's telling you that you're not coming out of this problem or situation. This is what I'm getting for as a second story, that you may not be coming out of this situation and being stuck in it because of the fact that there's just so many things that your attention is focused on, that maybe it was caused because of this, maybe that caused it, maybe so-and-so said this or that you don't know. Unfortunately, that's the reason why this card, when you look at it, there's a dragon in one, there's a castle, there's a head in one cup, there's all kinds of there's all kinds of things and choices. Really is this card of choices as well. And Scorpio is quite can be like I said, when Scorpio energy is in its worst form, and you know, Scorpio feels threatened, not doing so hot, they generally, I wouldn't be surprised to find them in Five of Swords energy. So you may be responding to this kind of with a bit of confusion is what I'm getting. The advice here is the Six of Wands, which is quite cool, because this card talks about kind of the victory after the battle, and given that you have a card of battle on here, this probably does talk about that you need to stand in be confident and trust your intuition and kind of have faith in yourself that you will be triumphant in this if you focus and plan carefully. This guy riding out of here, if you notice, he's, in most cards, kind of shows him a little bit more beat up and whatnot, but in this case, he looks like he's doing pretty well for himself. And what that probably suggests is that this gentleman has achieved victory not because of just reckless moves. I would say in other cards that's showing the guy beat up, right? Or if it's a woman that's on the horse that's all beat up, probably shows that they had a lot of plans and things that didn't go well, but they still became out victorious. In this card here, it's showing him there's no bumps or bruises or anything. And what I'm getting from that is that he planned very well. And because of that, he had a successful victory and minimized his injuries or losses. And so it may be suggesting that in this situation, if you were to apply that, you could become victorious and minimize the risk of, cut your losses. So you're going to come out victorious. The outcome here is Chariot in reverse. So something you may not be choosing at this time, given that there's so many choices, may not be investing all your time and putting your life force into one particular direction, probably because of whatever the situation was that was causing some of conflict, and there's so many illusions, deceptions, or choices at play that you don't really know which direction to take. So I think the advice overall is saying there seems to be a theme of being stuck in a lot of the readings, and I'm kind of getting that in order for you to kind of move past the situation, you really kind of got to stand in your element and be successful at just looking at what you have to offer and trust your intuition. Say, instead of looking at all the goblins, ghouls, and realities and things that may not actually be true, say, what do I know is true? If you can demonstrate and you can prove it, then it's true. So trust it, don't doubt it. And say, how can I navigate? How do I, with what I know to be true, how can I use that to make a better outcome for myself? Are you applying that, or are you just wasting your time in illusions and things that are putting you in circles? So think about that, Virgo. And I think your outcome will be the Six of Wands if you apply that. All right, moving on. Who do we have up next? We've got 4 left. Who's it gonna be? Gemini. It's like all the air signs look like kind of showing up last to the picture. Alright, Gemini. Spirit. What issue or problem is Gemini facing currently? How is Gemini responding to this problem? What advice do you have for Geminis? And what is the likely outcome for Gemini, Spirit? Spirit, what problem is Gemini facing currently at this time? How are they responding to this problem? What advice do you have for Geminis? And what is the likely outcome? Gemini. So for your problem right now, this shows that you may be coming out or being challenged to come out of some type of conflict with someone. Geminis are very notorious for kind of focusing, in my books, focusing a little bit more on the pentacle energy, wanting more material aspects, but at the same time have a lot of sexuality, can be probably one of the best nights you ever have, but they are very competitive and oftentimes can be very confident in that, to the point it's a bit arrogant. And so it's no surprise that I see the Knight of Wands showing, the Five of Wands, I'm sorry, showing up here, but it is reversed. So the problem here is probably some type of situation where you are really kind of engaging in who's right and who's wrong kind of vibe is what I'm getting between two people that are trying to outdo each other. And you want to come out of that energy. So the problem here is that it's probably suggesting that whatever the case is here, that is, you know, it's an issue. No one's budging. You've got two competitors that unfortunately both want to win equally as bad. How you respond to this is the High Priestess in reverse. So this can talk about kind of not following your intuition. It can talk about secrets being withheld. It can also talk about kind of using emotional warfare in my books, and being with the Five of Wands making an appearance. It probably is some type of self-deception or sabotage going on that you really need to be concerned about. The advice here is the Ace of Cups upright. So this does talk about that you really need to approach this situation with some type of new emotional understanding to the situation, and say that, you know, ask yourself the question, is this how are you showing up to this other person? If it's a person that you're dealing with, or if it's a job situation that you're trying to get, how are you showing up to the situation? Are you bringing you the best out, you know, that you can offer of yourself, or are you engaging in kind of more immature behaviors that are just not really, if you really think about it, are things that you might have, you know, cast judgment on others for? Yet you might be engaging in some of these behaviors with another person just because, hey, I want to be right. Ask yourself, is that really worth it? The outcome here is showing the Knight of Wands upright. So I do think that I do kind of feel that you will have some type of victory over this. There will be some type of passionate resolution to this, and you are going to put some time and energy into trying to really examine the situation. So I do think it might be a successful outcome. The question is more so being fire energy. How long is that fire going to stay lit? I don't know if it's going to last very long, but for now, it does show that there is going to be some progress that's going to be made into this. So I do feel that you are working towards it, Geminis. Whoever this person or situation that you're dealing with is, there seems to be some type of effort that will be made to try to resolve whatever fight, argument, or competition or game that you're playing with someone, if that is the case, whoever that applies to. Alright, last three signs. Pisces. Spirit, what problem is Pisces dealing with at this time? How is Pisces approaching this problem? What advice do you have for Pisces, and what is the likely outcome? We got 3 cards that jumped out. I'm going to take them. And one more for the outcome. Alright, Pisces. So for the current problem right now, we have Gemini energy coming in the Lovers in reverse. We have Pisces with the 10 of Cups upright. And we have the 2 of Cups, Cancer energy, showing in your vice position. The 6 of Wands. Let me show you these cards real quick. So we have the Lovers in your problem position that's in reverse. Again, Pisces coming in for the 10 of Cups upright. And how you're responding to this. 2 of Cups in your advice position. We have for Cancer energy. And then we have Leo showing up in the 6 of Wands in reverse for the outcome. So Pisces, the Lovers in reverse could talk about a connection that flat out, what I'm getting right here, is probably just not balanced. There may be a lot of issues with whatever this connection is. It can be an ex or a past lover that you had a deep connection with, that you've really cared about a lot, that just right now, unfortunately, it's just, it may not be working, or there may be looking past a lot of red flags and things that are just not going the way that they should, right? The way that you are responding to the situation, Pisces, is showing as a 10 of Cups. So whoever the person that you're dealing with is, it seems that you are making a definite attempt to try and, have a, long-term commitment with this person. Offer everything. You're pouring your heart and soul into the situation. And the question is it reciprocated? I'm showing you advice the 2 of Cups, and that's when really 2 people are exchanging equally their cups, right? And they're in love, and they're looking at each other. If you notice these 2 people looking face to face, and it's very equal give and take. But given that it's showing up in your advice, it may be suggesting to ask yourself, is this person that you're dealing with really reciprocating the kind of energy that you are putting in to try and make this dream of yours come to fruition? You really have, if you notice that each person brings their cup here, and given that the Lovers is in reverse for the problem, it may suggest that whoever you're dealing with may not be reciprocating that kind of love to you, and that you may be just more looking at what you want and seeing the situation for something that it's not. For your outcome, Pisces, it's the 6 of Wands is in reverse. So this does talk about that there's probably some type of failure here, or something that's not going to go as planned or how you want it to go. It does not. You have to remember that a war is a battle does not determine the victory in war. There are many battles that make up the outcome, the final outcome to a war of some sort. So even if you do have a failure or a loss here, it doesn't mean to say you've lost the war as a whole. And I don't want to look at it as a relationship being a war. It should never be looked like that. But I'm just giving an example that it's just another. A house takes 100. Might take 1,000 nails. So if one of them's bent, it doesn't mean that the last 999 are still good. So maybe try not to look at everything that it's a total loss if things don't go your way. But it can. I also want to point out that the 6 of Wands, when it's reversed, can be a bit of an authoritarian kind of standpoint where you're trying to almost be a bit bashful and be a bit, in a way, overly, excessively controlling, trying to force an outcome to occur. So I do also feel for some of you that this desire for the 10 of Cups to have what you want is so strong that you're trying to basically make a situation work that just isn't going to work. It's just whatever this other person is just not reciprocating the right kind of energy to make it last. But at the same time, you are ignoring that and potentially looking past red flags and just choosing to try and delegate and boss them around to try and break, kind of bend their arm a little bit to just kind of make them do it, which is never a good idea because you won't have a successful outcome, which is probably why it's reversed as well. So Pisces, I think how you really approach this problem is to really evaluate, and it seems to be a common theme of doing this, is to really evaluate what's on your plate, and to not look at the situation worse than it is, but to not look at it either or better than it is, just to simply look at it for what it is, and ask yourself, is this something that this person wants with me, or am I just spinning my wheels in the mud? Use your time wisely. All right. moving on. We have Capricorn. Capricorn. Still we got for Capricorn. Spirit, what problem is Capricorn facing currently? How are they dealing with this problem? What is the advice for Capricorns? And what is the likely outcome for Capricorns? Spirit, what problem is Capricorn facing currently? How are they approaching this problem? What advice? Oh, we had a card that fell out. What advice and the likely outcome do we have for our Capricorns? Get that card. Okay, so the problem, Capricorn, is the 8 of Swords for your first one. So that's embodying Gemini energy. Alright, Capricorn, right across the board. Oh, my lord. So you have, I'm sorry, this is high octane tension right off the bat. There's a lot, oh my god. This reading. Sorry, Capricorns, but this is not your time. 8 of Swords is in the problem position. So this talks about, and let me show you, it came up in the upright position, Gemini energy. So this talks about, it actually shows, if you look in this card, a woman that has a blindfold around her, and she actually has a way out of her mind, but she's trapped kind of in her mind, kind of obsessing and kind of dwelling in this kind of chaos. There's a lot of turbulence and possibilities and outcomes and things, but it's starting to torment her a little bit, and she's blindfolded. There's so many things that she may feel she doesn't know the answer to, and it's starting to kind of progress towards that 9 of Swords energy, which can really cause someone to have fear and anxiety and a lot of issues and stuff. But this may be a dilemma or a situation where you just really don't, there's a lot you don't know, or you feel you don't know, and you're kind of trapped in your head, kind of just stuck in a way, and it's kind of paralyzing you. But how you respond to this is the 5 of Swords upright Aquarius energy. So this talks about kind of revenge. It talks about battle. It playing nasty. It could be, I mean, if you look in the 5 of Swords energy, there's one person that looks like they're embodying the 5 of Cups energy. They're just on their knees in the background there. There's a fire in the background. There is a person that looks like he's dead sitting there. And you have this guy here, he's got one sword still up. So he's still on edge. He's planning on, you know, who do I got to kill next? You know, who's next type thing. And he's got these 4 other swords that he's got. So this kind of talks about that, you know, it's desolation all around him. So you may be approaching whatever the situation that's bothering you, you're stuck in your head about, with a lot of hostility. The advice here is the 9 of Swords in reverse. And I think the advice here is probably saying to slow down. Even though the 9 of Swords in reverse that card can also talk about aggression, being kind of vicious, a bully. You can talk about kind of stalling things, snagging things, you know, just a lot of bad things. And I feel with the 9 of Swords in reverse being in your advice position, it's suggesting to you that you seriously, if you are embodying this 5 of Swords and you know deep down inside, I mean, let's be honest with yourself, you don't have to tell anyone how you're really feeling, right? So if you know that you've been kind of engaging maybe someone or something, trying to even the playing field, or kind of engaging in behaviors that are just not the best, Spirit's kind of urging you that you really have to take a look at those behaviors and ask yourself if you are calling someone, you know, foul names, if you're causing drama, chaos, if you're doing things intentionally to spite someone, or, you know, sabotage things, or just in the sake of winning to be right, you know, because of whatever crazy ideas you might, you know, have surrounding situations, whether they're right or not. And I'm not saying this is every Capricorn. I'm just saying that some of you out there may be really having some situations really plaguing your mind and causing you to kind of fly off the handle a little bit and feel that, hey, you know, not today, Buster. And you're kind of getting really fed up with it. And that can cause us, especially if it was something that you feel it belonged to you, it was taken away from you incorrectly, or you just have a bad opinion on whatever the situation is, and it's just frustrating you so much that you can lash out, right? And lashing out typically does not get good results. And so Spirit is urging you to say, hey, look, this is something you really need to look at and ask yourself what kind of progress is going to be made from this. Can you, if you are planning to go and slash someone's tires, for example, do you think that that's going to progress things in the right direction to heal the situation, or is it just going to escalate the situation? Think about it, okay? Your outcome is the Five of Wands in reverse. So it does show that you are probably going to let this go and come out of this competition with whoever this is, which is a good thing. So I do think for some of you Leos, I'm sorry, not Leos, I apologize about that, Capricorn. For some of you Capricorns, will probably do what Capricorns do best and eventually just stabilize the situation out. So I think this will pass, but definitely the advice here is to really be aware of what you are saying and what you're doing and how you're showing up to a situation. Does everything need to be solved with a sword? The answer is no, it doesn't. It can be as simple as just talking it out, maybe seeing things from a different perspective and dropping your ego. You really need to ask yourself, is that me? And if you don't know and you can't trust yourself, maybe ask someone that you trust close to you to give their unbiased opinion of how you're dealing with the situation. There's many ways we can handle situations. Unfortunately, not all of us want to follow those advice, right? All right, Capricorns. Last but not least, we have Libra. Libra. Oh shit. Let a card drop out. Libra. Let a card drop out for you. Spirit, what kind of problems is Libra's facing currently? How are they responding to the situation? What advice do you have? And what is the likely outcome for our Libras? Oh, so reversed, okay. So we got your Five of Cups in reverse for your problem. Alright, Libras. So you have Five of Cups in the reverse, showing up for the problem position. This can kind of talk about, so when the Five of Cups is upright, as I've mentioned already 2 times before, when it's in the upright position, it can talk about kind of grieving, kind of just being depressed or whatnot, over some such situation that may not have worked out in your favor or wasn't going so hot for you. But when it is reversed, it is talking about getting out of that and moving past it. And so this is definitely going to probably talk about that, given that it's in your problem position, that there might be something that you are still haven't quite moved on maybe haven't worked through enough. I don't think this is saying that you are stuck where you're still grieving and still having problems and issues and stuff like that. But it does say that whatever you did work through, there may still be some lingering kind of strings that are still kind of attached to whatever this issue was in the past that you haven't quite fully resolved yet, right? And it's saying that you are, but it shows the problem that you are working through it, but it's still some form of an issue. How you respond to this is Six of Pentacles, and that may be suggesting that you're giving too much of your time. Well, you are being generous as much as possible with your time, and you're giving a lot, as much as you can, really, to others. And the Six of Pentacles, if you look at it, it shows that there's a guy here that's really giving to a lot of hands. I mean, there's a lot of people reaching for his pentacles saying, I want one, I want one, I want one. You know, so it's dividing your attention. And you really have to say to yourself, given that the Nine of Wands is in the advice position, which shows our battered warrior here that's been through hell and back, you have to say to yourself, are you giving too much of your time and attention to multiple situations? Because if you really think about it, this guy here he's on one knee. He's battered, he's tired, right? And so excessive giving to situations may, after a while, even though you may feel it's the right thing to do and it's a wise thing to do, may be kind of an issue that you have. And if this is more than one situation, I'm not really getting this as more than one situation. I think what this could be suggesting is like for example, a past lover or something that you had in the past that's come back in your life, but you've always kind of just felt out of guilt or whatever, you want to give more to the situation, but it's calling for you to say how much of your time should you give, really. Trying to find that balance, because if you overextend yourself to the situation where it's really not maybe reciprocating the right way, it could lead to the Nine of Wands being kind of like excessively burnt out and you're on your one knee, right? So it doesn't mean to say it's bad at all. It's generally just saying to just really heed the idea that, you really have to make sure that there's an equal give and take for things to be successful. Outcome shows Page of Cups that's in reverse. So this can talk about that there is kind of an offer. It's Page energy, so this is generally something that could be not very mature, or it's in its infantile stages, but there could be some issues surrounding some type of emotional ups and downs. It can be a card of spying, or kind of like, being a little bit mean-spirited. I'm getting a lot of turbulence off of it. So this may be a situation overall. What it's suggesting here is that if there is someone from the past, or it's someone currently that you may have just met, if this is a family situation, it's really saying to yourself, how are you investing your time and your resources? Are you giving it to the right people? Is it being reciprocated, or just draining you? And are they putting in the love and support back to you, or are they just take? So it is urging you to evaluate that and be careful, Libra. And as provided that you don't overly extend yourself, you'll be a lot more in position where you can make better decisions to be more emotionally charged and ready for the day, instead of being on your knee drained, right? And you definitely don't want to get yourself into unrequited love situations. So you do need to really say to yourself, like, I'm giving 50% of my paycheck to someone that really just doesn't give a shit and doesn't give a hoot. That's probably not a healthy situation, right? So I wouldn't want to deal with that long term, because you'll definitely find yourself in this energy. So that's all I got for you, Libra. But it does, suggest an iffy. The outcome in my books is a little iffy. So I would really strongly urge those of you that this resonates with to really kind of examine your situation and really ask yourself what you're giving to and how much you're giving to these situations. Is it balanced? And if it's not, I would urge you to really reconsider the situation and reapproach it. Okay? None of us should ever be in situations where it's overly lopsided, and when it is, it can lead to a lot of problems. So, but that's all I got for you, Libra. Alright, guys, so that is all the signs done. If you liked this content, please like and consider subscribing to me. I will be putting more videos out as the week comes along. There's going to be adjustments, obviously, to the lighting. There's a lot of things that I have to work on and improve with this channel, but know that I am working on it. It does take a lot of work doing these videos that I've found, and so bear with me that I'm not perfect. I will get it right in time. But know that things are always changing. So hopefully this will grow into something good. And once again, to always remember that the emotions, situations, and things change all the time. So don't fixate overly with one reading. Check out your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, or even your Venus. It may resonate for you a little bit better if you don't resonate in your sun sign, for example. So check that out. And obviously, if these readings don't apply to you, that's okay. There's plenty of other readers on YouTube to go to, and maybe this is just not for you.